I remember a while back I got on a train and I saw this really attractive girl, and I wanted to go and talk to her, but I was really, really nervous. And eventually I go and sit somewhat near her, and I ask her very tensely, I'm like, what's your name? And it was super tense, it was super awkward. And I remember that she gave a really choppy response, and I asked her like a couple more questions. She gave really choppy responses, and I felt like I was doing the absolute wrong thing. I felt so dumb, I felt so awkward. But then I remembered a piece of advice that I heard a while back, and it was just say whatever comes to mind. And I was like, you know what, let me just go ahead and try this. So at that point, there's this guy who was sitting in front of us who was honestly kind of smelly, right? He didn't smell good at all. He probably forgot deodorant or whatever. And it was just in my mind, I was like, bro, this guy stinks. And so I said that out loud. I said, this guy smells. Like, it was just straight off the top of my head. I didn't think about it. I didn't try to format it in the way that you're supposed to format it. I didn't say it with a deep voice. I didn't say it with anything. And she just started laughing. And from that point, I just started saying random stuff that just came to my mind. And I found that she was so much more receptive to that than the lines that I had heard. I had to say this, right? I had to say, what's your name in this way? And, shake the hand in this way. And it's like all these things that you pre-plan, all these things, all these lines that you want to have ready. This is how I spit game. This is how I say this. And it's like, that doesn't even work. The best thing that you can do, I think, to be the most authentic, especially if you're nervous, remember, just say whatever comes to your mind. Just say whatever crosses your mind, and you will seem so much more genuine than the guy who just sits there saying, oh yeah, I remember this one line that says, I have to say the name in this way. Okay, so I'll go ahead and try this. And it's like, you're trying all these tricks, and the people can see that. People can see that you're playing tricks. People can see that you're hiding something, and that's what makes you ingenuine. That's what makes you inauthentic. That's what people do not like. People like the authentic people because they seem more real, they seem more human. You have to realize the importance of communication in our species. Evolutionarily, we didn't just start speaking language, right? We didn't just start speaking to each other. At first, we had body language to symbolize different things. We had different facial expressions. Recently, I read something about babies that just keep crying when they're in their infant stage. And all the way until like 4 months, they will just keep crying. But at 4 months, they don't cry that much anymore. And the thing is, between the 4 months, they keep seeing the mother having anxiety and not knowing what to do, and still she puts on like this smile, but the babies itself can tell that it's not completely genuine, it's not completely there, and they can feel the anxiety inside the mother. But when it gets to month 4, they can genuinely recognize and individualize each person, and they can say, this is my mother, right? This is the person that I want to be around. Before 4 months, how they judge their security is based on how the person that's handling them is feeling secure. It's about how that person is genuinely feeling on the inside. Are they secure or are they anxious? And a lot of these mothers that have these crybaby children are anxious on the inside. This is their first time having a child, and they don't know what to do. So inside, they're like a little bit jittery, and somehow the baby can tell that. The baby can see that. And if a baby between the age of like 0 and 4 months can tell that their mother is anxious without knowing a single word, how do you expect that's if you go into a conversation and you have a pre-planned response and you have a trick to try, you don't think that you're going to be found out? The best thing that you can do is to genuinely say what's on your mind. Because if you don't say what's on your mind, you will seem inauthentic, and you don't want to seem that way. You want to be very genuine, very real. Say what's on your mind, and it seems like your body language is so much more open, because that's what really matters. As I said before, the baby can judge you based on your body language, on the feelings that you are giving just through how you move, because that is how we evolutionarily adapted. The first thing wasn't language, it was how our body moved. It was these minute facial expressions that conveyed different things. If you're able to genuinely believe that you are comfortable, your body language will actually show that. You don't want to try to trick the other person. You want to be able to trick yourself into believing that you are comfortable. And once you believe you're comfortable, everything else will take place. Everything else that you wanted will just happen, because your body language will carry you through everything else. Your body language will show that you are feeling calm. When I said, yo, this dude stinks, to this girl, I was really calm, right? Because this is just on my mind. I didn't have to hide back anything. And she could sense that. I'm really pretty sure that she could sense that I was just being open. Like, I was just like, dude, this guy stinks. I wasn't trying to sit in this way or trying to sit in this position. And it made me seem very, very authentic. You gotta realize that facial expressions mean the same thing in every language. If I sit here and I smile, and if I go to Cambodia and I smile, they both mean this exact same thing. Even though it's not, in the language or in the tradition, it's like if I smile here or I smile anywhere else, we all know that it's because I'm happy. We all know that I'm trying to symbolize I'm trying to be friendly. Body language and nonverbal communication is much older and much more primal than verbal communication, than just words and abstract thought. Your actual body language and your nonverbal cues will give you away much more than your words. Another thing to prevent you from pre-planning your response is to genuinely try to listen to the other person, genuinely try to soak in what they're telling you, genuinely try to understand what they're saying, and always focus on the mood and the presence that's happening instead of the actual words. Try to give them the idea and the feeling that they are heard, not actually just saying, oh yeah, that makes sense. Actually show them that you are listening, show them that you are open, show them. Don't try to say it. Another tip that has always helped me in terms of being very relaxed when I go into conversation is by working hard in the beginning of the day. So whatever type of work that you're doing, whatever skill that you're trying to develop, whatever thing that is important to you, do it in the beginning of the day. Don't wait till like, oh, I'm a night owl, don't know any of that stuff. Do it as early as you can in the morning. And that way you'll find that you take out a lot of tenseness in your life because you've already done the most difficult thing. You've already done the thing that you were going to feel like, I'm dreading it, I have to do it later. It's like, no, you do it first, and after that you can relax. You're feeling calm inside, you're not tense, you're not waiting for something to happen. You already have finished your hardest work and you just feel like, yeah, it's a nice time speaking to you. I don't have to put on a facade. I can just sit here and just speak. I can just sit here and be open. And it's just a very, very real, authentic feeling to the other person. Another thing that I would recommend to you to be more calm in these situations is to start working out, is to start building a body that you're proud of. And you'll find that not only this, as I said before, if you work hard in the morning, if you actually push yourself in the morning, you'll find like it's easier to relax later in the day. But also, if you're actually confident in yourself, you won't feel the need to interrupt other people. You won't feel the need to have this specific thing to say. If you're just confident in yourself and say, wow, I look like this, I don't need to try that hard, right? And you'll find that you don't need to try that hard. You don't need to do all that. If you want to have the ability to work out right in the morning before you do anything else, just from your home, and you actually build a great physique while you're doing this, I recommend that you check out the link below and I'll help you more there. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about there. With that, I hope that you got something from this video. I hope that you go out and conquer.